morning, everyone. We are here for another installment of Mornin Oats, so let's just get into it. I got my oats, I got my coffee with the first edition of the Mornin Oats coffee mug. Can't ban these guns. From Alan, thank you, man, I appreciate it. So let's start the discussion. The question that I've been asked a bazillion times, wow, I'm looking really tired today. That I've been asked a million times is how do people treat you now that you've lost weight? So do people treat you differently now that you've lost weight? Or how do people treat you now that you've lost all this weight? So I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. Now, obviously, people do treat me differently. It's nothing, it's kind of like you get people that almost see you as like a different person. Like they almost see me as like, I've done this thing to maybe like change who I am, and they almost like see it as a negative, and it's kind of weird dealing with that because I'm someone that's, when I was heavier, and still now I think, I've been someone that's always had people that thought that I was, you know what I mean, that I've never had enemies, I guess you could say. I've never had people that didn't like me, or that thought that I was a jerk or anything like that. I've never had that. I've always had people that were on my side. I've never really gotten on anyone's nerves, or I'm sure I've gotten on people's nerves, but I've never like annoyed people to a point where they don't like me, where the first thing they say is like, oh, have you met John? And they're not, it's never been like, yeah, I don't like that guy. It was usually like always like, yeah, he's cool, you know, and he's the big guy, he's funny, big guy, you know. And that brings me into another point, is like, I remember people used to say to me, and I used to think this too, was like, if I lose weight, I'm gonna have to change like who I am. Because like my whole thing when I was heavier was make fun of myself to get friends, you know, make fun of myself, make the fat jokes to get friends, to get people to accept me. And obviously after I lost the weight, that wasn't gonna work out. I couldn't make fat jokes anymore about myself because that wouldn't make any sense, right? So I did have to, like when people say you don't change at all when you lose a good amount of weight, I don't really believe that. But everyone thinks change is negative, but I don't think change is really all like that negative. I think it's necessary. Like when I was 360 pounds, obviously I can't make the same jokes that I did now that I'm 190 pounds. It's just not, it doesn't work out. It wouldn't make any sense. As far as people treating me differently, yeah, they definitely do. I definitely hear a lot of things like from my family about people maybe saying something to them like, oh, he just seems like he's full of himself because maybe I'll like post pictures in the gym or whatever. And it's funny seeing the different, like how people treat you when you're morbidly obese compared to when you, I guess, because I went from one extreme to another, you know, morbidly obese, not doing anything about health, to literally my whole life is geared towards the gym and fitness and trying to help people. And it's funny how people have treated me differently. And then obviously there's the question that a lot of people ask me, mainly girls, is how do girls treat you now that you've lost weight? Now, before, when I was heavier, I was literally like, if you could think of friend zone, that was me. Like if friend zone was in the dictionary, my face would be next to it, my picture would be next to it, because I was like quintessential friend zone guy, good friends with a bunch of girls, and always kind of wanted it to go farther, but I could never get myself to maybe ask, and they can never see themselves being with someone who was my size, right? So the difference between like how girls treat me is huge, and it's not like there's nothing wrong with that. I understand that if you're a girl, you're not gonna want to date someone that's 360 pounds morbidly obese, because it makes sense. Like I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but I wouldn't want to date a girl that was morbidly obese. I understand where they're coming from, but yeah, it's definitely something that I'm trying to get used to, is dealing with the increased attention from females, I guess. That's definitely like a new element to my life, you know, dealing with the opposite sex. It was definitely not something that I really dealt with very much before. It's interesting to see the differences. And then obviously, so I lost the weight, so I'm getting treated differently because of that, but I also get treated differently because of my following, or you know, whatever you want to call it. My name is out there and people know who I am. I hate saying it like that, but I get treated differently because of that. Like I get more negativity towards that than anything else. It's like people think that I've changed like dramatically, and I think that I'm way better than everyone because I have some sort of following on some sort of social media networks. And I mean, it's hard for me to say I don't see it and that's not true, because I can't really honestly say that that's not true, because I'm the person, you know, I don't know. Maybe I have changed because I live day to day, so I don't see what the changes over the few years. I don't think I've changed that much. I hope I haven't changed that much. I still really believe in the same things I did when I was heavier. It's just I'm just a healthier version of myself. It's interesting to see, I guess people, this might sound really negative, but I guess people I think as humans, a lot of us like to see people doing worse than us. Not all of us, and I like seeing people that are doing better, but I think as like something in our hearts, like when you see someone doing worse than you, it makes you feel better about yourself. So that's why people, I feel like, make fun of people, you know, call them fat or call them ugly or this or that, because it makes you feel better about yourself, because you're able to make fun of this person for something a lot of times that they can't even control, right? So I think that's another element into it as well. Like, people like seeing people do worse than them. So I feel like now that maybe people think I'm doing better than them, they want to be negative towards me and say things behind my back, say things to other people, things like that. So I think that's like an interesting thing that I think I've dealt with. So I feel like there's been a couple different maybe like levels of how people have maybe changed their perception on me, and people that have lost weight. You know, for me there's a level of losing weight, so getting treated differently because of that. And then the level of maybe gaining some notoriety. I hate using that word, or whatever you want to call it. And then there's people that treat me differently because of that. But strictly weight loss is concerned, most of it's pretty positive. Most of it is very positive. Most people are very excited to see me, and they're like, wow, you look awesome. I'm so happy for you. And I've never really had people like come up to me and be like, I think what you're doing is wrong, and you've lost weight is wrong, you know, obviously. But you definitely, like, whenever I hear anything that's been like maybe said negatively about me, it's usually from someone that said it to someone and then they said it to me, you know. But yeah, it's an interesting question, because it's something that a lot of people I don't think deal with or have had to deal with. But it's something that people I think are kind of worried about if they have a lot of weight to lose, that they might have to deal with people treating them differently. And it will happen, but you just gotta understand that if you are going on a weight loss journey and you are about to lose a bunch of weight, you are going to be making yourself healthier and you're going to live longer. And that's the most important thing. You're gonna improve your life. If people can't accept that, then they shouldn't be in your life. At least, I don't know, that's how I feel. Like, if someone were to stop hanging out with me or accepting me because of me losing weight, or of me gaining popularity on social media networks, or whatever you want to call it, they don't deserve to be in my life, and they're not going to get me any closer to anywhere that I need to be anyway. So that's how I feel about that. So I thought that was an interesting topic. I'm almost done with my oatmeal and my coffee, so we're gonna end the video here. I want to say thank you guys so much for all the support. Like always, you guys are absolutely changing my life, and I couldn't be more appreciative. So as always, please, any questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. I'll try and answer them on these morning oats. Also, if you guys can leave me down some comments about maybe if you've dealt with this and how maybe or if you are planning on dealing with this, how maybe you might deal with it. And also, if you have any ideas of what I should talk about on morning oats, let me know. And one more thing, let me know how many times a week I should do this. 3 to 4, I was thinking. Just let me know. I enjoy making these videos, and I really appreciate that you guys enjoy watching them. So I hope you guys have a nice day. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look up what I am.